Good morning to one and all. I welcome you all for another week of online session on biosafety and bioethics, the Unit 4 of the soft core course Biotechnology. In the last session, we were discussing about the Human Genome Project. We were discussing the goals of the human genome sequencing and what are the fundamental principles of the human genome sequencing. And then we were discussing about the impact of the human genome sequencing on biology and technology. In today's session, we will discuss in detail about the Human Genome Project. Right? When we were discussing about the impact of the human genome sequencing on biology and the technology, the next important impact is that the Human Genome Project or the research, it has drove the development of sophisticated computational and mathematical methods or approaches to the data. So we see a significant development in computational and mathematical approaches to the data, and it has brought the computer scientists, the mathematicians, engineers, theoretical physicists, all of these people have come together with the biologists. So it's a more of cross-disciplinary culture that has developed over the years. And it is all because of the Human Genome Project. So the development is cross-disciplinary and it has led to the integration of computational and mathematical approaches to analyze the data. And it is possible only when the computer scientists, the mathematicians, engineers and theoretical physicists, they come together with the biologists. This is one significant impact on the biology and the technology influenced by the Human Genome Project. There are many levels of complexity in biology and medicine. Right? The complexity is too much. So this complexity, if you want to tackle this complexity or decode the complexity in a comprehensive and integrative manner, then projects like Human Genome Project, which we refer to as the big science projects, are very much essential. We know that the level of complexity in biology and medicine is very high. So to understand, to decode the language of complexity in biology and medicine in a very comprehensive and integrative manner, projects like the Human Genome Project are very much essential. Right? So, Human Genome Project, as it is conceived and implemented, is a very good example of the big science in biology. So, this is the most important impact of the Human Genome Project on biology and technology. This project has clearly demonstrated that both the power and the necessity to deal with the integrated biological and technological objectives or aims. Absolutely no doubt about it. A clear understanding of the concepts of the biology and technology is made possible with this big science project. Clear? Now, how this Human Genome Project has benefited the biology and medicine? To highlight a few concepts, first one is creating a sequence of the human genome. Now you can understand what wonders you can do when you have the sequence of the human genome. Next is sequencing of the genome of model organisms. And the sequencing of human genome or the sequencing of the genome of model organisms, in the process of doing so, high throughput sequencing technologies have been developed and of course it has led to a lot of issues related to the ethical and social implications when we are using such technologies. Right? So this is the impact of the project on biology and medicine. It has led to the creation of sequence of human genome, sequence of the genome of model organisms, and high sensitive, high throughput sequencing technologies, and addressing the ethical and social issues when such technologies are used. So how much does the project cost? The initial investment was $3.5 billion, and if you see the return, it's about $800 billion. That is US dollars. So for an initial investment of $3.5 billion, the return has been about $800 billion. Right? So this is the beauty of the Human Genome Research or the project. Now, what is the impact of the Human Genome Project on society? Since the day one of the human genome research, it has made mandatory for the biologists to consider the social implications of their research. A 5% of the project cost is devoted to consider the social, ethical, and legal aspects in understanding and acquiring the data and inferring the data. Data of what? The data obtained by sequencing the human genome. Right? So, considering the social implications of the human genome research is part of the goal of the Human Genome Project. Right? Now, what are the issues that were raised and considered? Number one, the genetic privacy. Number two, potential discrimination. See, all these points are to be carefully considered under ethical and social implications when inferring the human genome sequence data. Right? Number one, the genetic privacy, the potential discrimination, justice in apportioning the benefits from genomic sequencing, that means equal rights. And then human subject protections, genetic determinism, identity politics, and the philosophical concept. So these are the important issues that were raised under social implications and which were considered to be justified in an appropriate manner. Right? So this is about the impact of the human genome research on the society. So by understanding the goals and the concepts of the Human Genome Project, and by looking into the ethical and social implications of the research, the question that comes to our mind is what we have learned from the Human Genome Project. Number one, there are no race specific genes in humans. Most important. Right? Absolutely no race specific genes in humans. Second thing, an individual's genome reveals his or her ancestral lineage, and it is a function of the migrations and interbreeding among the population. So from the goals and objectives set for the human genome research, what we have learned is that there are no race specific genes in humans. And an individual's genome reveals his or her ancestral lineage, which is a function of the migration of the population group and interbreeding among the population group. Thus, Human Genome Project has opened many avenues in biology, medicine, technology, and computation. Now, what is remaining is to explore. We are just beginning to explore. Many avenues have been opened up in the area of biology, medicine, technology, and computation. So now we are beginning to explore. Right? So I'll make it very clear that there are no race specific genes in the humans, and an individual genome reveals his or her ancestral lineage, which is a function of the migrations and interbreeding among the population groups. Right? So this is about the Human Genome Project and the Human Genome Research or Big Science Project or Big Science approach. Now we will move on to another important concept called as gene prospecting or genome prospecting or bioprospecting. That means to search for, to look for, or to look into. You have a genome sequence, and what you have to look into, what you are essentially searching for in the genome sequence, that is called as bioprospecting. So bioprospecting from metagenomic sequence data. Now what is metagenomics? Metagenomics is the practice of sequencing the DNA from the genomes of all organisms which are present in a particular sample. Right? And this has become a common method to study the structure and function. So essentially metagenomics is about sequencing the DNA from the genomes of all organisms, and it is a method to study the structure and function. Right? And researchers are continuously trying to find novel genes, and these novel genes may be of interest to the biotechnology as well as to the pharmaceutical industries. Now, how does the bioprospecting work? How to find a novel gene of significant interest to the field of biotechnology and pharmaceutical industries? So bioprospecting, it requires the help of bioinformatics. Right? It requires a suite of sophisticated bioinformatics tools to make some sense out of the sequence data. So bioprospecting is not a subject all alone. it is dependent on the tools of bioinformatics. Only then, with the help of bioinformatic tools, only then you can make some sense of the sequence data. Right? What are these bioinformatic tools used for? These tools are used for assembly and annotation of the metagenomic sequence or the data of the metagenomic sequence. The fundamental aim is to discover novel genes to understand the structure and function of those genes. Right? If you just look at the workflow, to begin with, it is the sequencing, where the extracted biological sample or the genomic material is sequenced, and then assembly begins. That means the fragmented sequenced data are assembled. Alongside, we have another process called the binning. Binning is the phylogenetic analysis of the taxonomic groups that are present in the sample that is being sequenced. And next step is the gene prediction. That means identification of the potential genes, the genes of interest. And next is the gene annotation, that is identification of domains, functions and metabolic pathways in which the gene products are involved. And finally, the data sharing. Data sharing happens between the scientific groups around the world. To begin with, it is the sequencing. That means the extracted genome material is sequenced. Then we have assembly. The fragmented sequenced data, they are assembled. Alongside with binning, the phylogenetic analysis of the taxonomic groups present in the sample. Then we have gene prediction, that is identification of potential genes. Then we have gene annotation, that is identification of domains, functions and metabolic pathways in which the gene products are involved. And finally, the findings are shared between the scientific groups around the world. Right? Since the genomes are incredibly complex, so whatever the technology or the sequencing technology you apply or adopt to sequence the genomes needs to be sufficiently deep and comprehensive enough to capture representative sequence from all species which exist at varying abundances. So we know that the genomes are highly complex, they are incredibly complex. So any technology or the sequencing technology that is applied for genome samples needs to be sufficiently deep and comprehensive to capture some of the representative sequence from all the species and give out the data or the results, or by inferring the data, comparing the sequences from all species, by picking up some representative sequences which exist at varying abundances. Right, whatever the technology you apply should be sufficient enough to capture some of the representative sequences present in all the species, irrespective of its abundances in the species. Right? Next, we have the second and third generation sequencing technologies. Because the technology what you apply should be comprehensive in capturing the representative sequences. So, the second and third generation sequencing technologies, which we collectively call as next generation sequencing or NGS, have enabled the much deeper and more comprehensive studies. Right? So, sequencing is made possible with deeper and comprehensive approaches with the development of NGS, that is next generation sequencing. So I'll stop over here for today's session. We'll continue in the next session. Till then, thank you very much.